You guys live now, just so you know.
We're going live.
Oh, that's what's up.
We're live.
The show starts officially on air in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Tori, lower your mic a bit. It's kind of... There you go.
Right there?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yep.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
You just need to see Tori.
Just keep your shades on, Ron.
So how I announced my co-host as I got the Undertaker on today.
You on the shirt?
There you go.
The
You
Undertaker.
on the shirt?
I got the Undertaker on today. The Undertaker.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. And so far this morning, eastbound traffic a little bit heavy between US 27 and the 429 and further delays on eastbound I-4.
Yeah, you do look like, what's the guy name?
George Harrison.
No, you look like the guy from Keanu Reeves a little bit.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves,
Yeah,
yes,
I can see
yes,
that.
yes.
Kind of a little bit more ugly version of Keanu Reeves.
Thanks.
We got a lot going on
Hey, man.
today in the world of sports. You got me live on Facebook already, right?
Yeah.
So today we got a lot going on. We got Oklahoma, LSU. We got Clemson, Ohio State. We got the Antonio Brown, New Orleans situation. Sean Payton wants some clarity from the NFL. We got Marshawn Lynch in
A
Seattle.
lot of people.
And we got the big time.
There's
playoff.
Big E.
My producer just joined us all. He just joined us.
Is Tori hosting?
Hello, my beautiful people on Facebook. Good morning. Good morning.
Tori's Brandon today.
Hey, where you got 30,
Right,
where
I'm
you got 30
Control
people
Chaos
watching?
Brandon today. Without all the explicit slips.
This is going to be a different kind of show today.
Yes.
I'm ready.
We're joined by The Undertaker
You're not
in
doing
sports. I guess The Undertaker is with us today. Absolutely. How many people I got tuned in already? How many followers already?
25.
Wow.
Pretty
Yeah.
quick. We just
I
turned it
hate when you
on.
do that, when you go like that so early, and I'm not even really discussing it yet, just yet, you know what I mean?
And they can still look at your beauty.
So, you know, they're just looking like, what is he talking about today? What do you got going on today, you know?
Damn, what's the sexy guy about to talk about, you know?
You
Say
just
what?
showing behind the scenes we getting ready,
Yes.
man. That's all part of
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Is my face shiny on there? Am I looking like Tom Brokaw?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little
Yeah.
bit, but you're fine. Everyone has a little
It's
bit.
the lights. They're
It's the
too,
light, yeah, it's the light in there.
they're too strong.
I can turn them
I
down.
ain't, no, they know I'm handsome, so it's all good. Hey, listen. Hey, we need some down south music today, man. I need a little Trick Double D today, man. A little TWD, man.
Hey, what up?
Bring home the W, live games, highlights, personalized stats, and so much more. Plus,
Are you
you'll
funny?
be able to
Can you hear me?
stream now. So even when you're in enemy territory, you've got the home field advantage. Never miss a play with Xfinity, your ultimate destination for sports. Simply say Xfinity Sports Zone into your X1.
How much time we got? A minute or something?
When you need FaceTime with your boss, all you do is look in the mirror. On National Boss Day, you take yourself out to lunch. And you never say things like synchronize to synergize because, well, it sounds ridiculous. You're a small business owner, born to be your own boss, and Amex can help. Flexibility so you can keep doing what you were made to do. The powerful
Get a
backing of
microphone in.
American Express. Don't do business.
What's going on, gentlemen? All right, what's poppin', bro?
How was your Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
Listen,
Happy
I need
almost
you
New
guys
Year.
to lose today. Fold
Happy
for the people, man.
Yeah?
Fold for the Eagles so I can win this bet, man.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. It was good,
Fold
man.
for the people, man.
What's up, Big E?
Chocolate was good.
Long distance.
How you feeling? You better?
Eat the long arms.
Which round we got today?
The Undertaker. He's the
Or
Undertaker.
undercover Ron?
No, Undertaker. is his
Undercover
name.
Ron.
Undercover Ron?
We'll call it. Let's use his name backwards. What would that be?
What's it?
That'd be
His name is only referred to
Nor
as The Undertaker. The Undertaker. That's what I'm referring to him as.
Dixon spelled.
Alright, we got
That'll be
30 seconds.
The
Nixor.
Wildwood Undertaker, man.
Nor Nixor.
Nor Nixon.
Hey Ron, your name is Nor Nixor. That's your name backwards. Sound like you're from Krypton.
The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed in this program are not those of iHeartMedia, its management, or advertisers.
Welcome to the WSA World Sports Alumni.com Hour with the Brandon Merriweather and Ron Dixon Show. Two NFL stars who've seen and done it all, giving it to you straight on Sports and Life on Orlando Sports Leader FM 96.9 The Game, presented by NeoMatrixMedical.com.
What's up? What's up? What's up? This the realest co-host in the building today on Control Chaos, joined by Tori Lewis, and I got a special guest in the building. The Wildwood Undertaker is in the building today. My normal co-host, Brandon Mayweather, is on a mini vacation, so he couldn't be with us today, but he's sending out his love, as always, to you guys who are tuning in to us every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I say again, we're joined today by a special guest, The Undertaker, out of Wildwood.
Listen, you're doing your thing, man. I like the way you set that up and been handling it.
So we're going to get right into it today. We got a college playoff stars today. We're going to jump right into it. We got Oklahoma, LSU, and we got Clemson, Ohio State. So we're going to dive off into this Oklahoma, LSU, and we're going to get some opinions, and we're going to get some thoughts on this thing, and how we believe this thing going to break down today. Again, y'all know I'm the Alabama guy. Y'all know that. So I do have a little part of me that's pulling for Jalen. I really do. I have a part of me that's pulling for Jalen, but I realize that Jalen is not truly equipped for this LSU machine. And that's what I call it, the LSU machine, because LSU has been blowing through this season week in and week out. And I just don't believe that Jalen has enough help. Not that he ain't got it, because I know he's up to the task, but I just don't believe he has enough help, especially with three of his best players suspended.
What happened? That's the story I want to talk about. What happened to the suspension?
The
What's going on?
suspension is, I would call it the Ricky Williams effect. The sticky icky.
Oh.
Dirty urine.
Now they getting ready to try to play for the national
Right.
championship. What's practically leading up to it? And they got popped on drug tests. That's what
Right.
you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you.
Man. You know, with the whole, Alabama and with
Right.
Jalen, I like the way he bounced that thing all the way back and has Oklahoma in a real serious position to, to compete for the national championship. And they're not
Right.
even, your team, Alabama, not even in the,
Right.
they're not
right.
even in the ball game.
Not even the ball game.
But, he got to play lights out, like you said, because LSU, boy, they tough enough.
Right, got to
You
play
know?
mistake-free football. Got to. The thing, I as I look at the game, and as I look at the game within the game, the chance I do give Oklahoma is this. Oklahoma is a different Oklahoma than they was under Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. This Oklahoma is a methodical Oklahoma. They grind you out,
Right.
which really is a great antidote to beat LSU, because LSU is a quick strike offense.
Okay.
So if you look at if they can go long, if they can sustain the long drives and keep LSU off the field, play mistake-free football.
No turnovers.
No
zero
turnovers.
He can't throw any picks.
And you got to be great on special teams.
Right.
And
There's three phases to the game.
That's right.
Special team is one of them, and that can change some ball games.
Absolutely. Because I think what our listeners need to understand is, when you have that ball for a long time, a sustained drive like that, it's imperative that you make that field goal.
Yeah.
See, because you can't have that ball 8, 9, 10-minute drive, and you get down there and you miss a 35-yard field goal.
See, but this type of game, field goals ain't gonna win it for you.
Well,
Especially if you are Oklahoma,
Mhm.
which is like you said, LSU have that quick strike.
Right.
So now you eating up all that time. You only got 3. Now it's down. Now you're down 7-3 because LSU don't score so quickly.
right.
So you gotta get in the end zone, man. They're going to have to get in the end zone. It's not going to be a field goal game. Can't be.
A key matchup in this game, too, that we need to look out for is Lamb, the wide receiver for Oklahoma, versus Stingley Jr., the cornerback, the true freshman cornerback, lockdown cornerback. I mean, this kid here is grade A. He's the best. I mean, this kid here is one of the few times that I can actually look at a kid as a freshman and say, you know what, he's ready for the next level.
Right.
And to see what happens in that matchup right there, because Lamb is all things of the passing game at Oklahoma.
Right.
And to see what happens there. Because he's going to have to make plays.
Is that him? They got him on the
That's
screen
him right there.
now?
That's him on the screen right there. That's him on watch him. His hips are second to none. Watch him. You see that there? His vision. This guy here is nothing but a playmaker. Is all he is. Make plays. This guy shuts folks down. This guy he has some of the, and I know y'all wonder when I say hips, but that is vital in being a cornerback, being able to be swivelly, being able to just turn around like that there and out of the back pedal. And this guy here does it.
And that's
second
the
to
other,
none.
and that's the receiver.
And that's the receiver Lamb right there.
Yeah.
That's the matchup
okay. Well,
that we have to pay attention to.
And that's going to be a big time matchup because we're
Yes.
going to see who, the lights bright.
Absolutely.
Everybody trying to get to the next level. Everybody trying to get to the championship. So,
Absolutely.
This is prime time TV.
Yes, sir.
So this is how you get to really show your skills and separate yourself. When
Right.
you're talking about getting drafted, but he's just he's a true freshman.
True
so
freshman.
He got 2 years, right?
Yeah. He a true freshman. But he is Derek Stingley Jr., man. This kid here got 6 interceptions, most in the SEC. Going up against CeeDee Lamb with 14 receptions on touchdowns, man. 4th in the FBS, man. That's going to be a matchup to pay attention to today. People lying there in Atlanta today, man. It really is. What we do know is this, though. We know that Jalen Hurts is a big-time player.
Oh, absolutely.
He's played on the biggest stage as a true freshman.
And he show up.
Cool, calm, collected. We do know that.
If he toss that thing around today and he'd be able to get him about 50 to 75 on the ground, LSU might have a tough time.
Might have a tough time because, honestly, outside of the Auburn game and even the Texas game, the Texas game was early in the season, but in the latter part of the season, the Auburn game, Joe Burrow has never been in a game that was so close that he had to do a game-winning, he had to make it happen, a game-winning drive or something like. Everything he's been real loose. Everything's been
Right.
he's been up by 3-4 touchdowns, and he's been able to get real cute in the pocket.
Look, he's coming off the Heisman now.
Right.
And you want to play your best ball in December, and that's what Oklahoma doing.
Absolutely.
So they're gonna get after him and get rough with him, and we're gonna see what he made of.
Absolutely. I still feel that's going to be a big missing the defensive end. Their top defensive player is going to be the defensive lineman is going to really.
Well, you just have to reload, right? Somebody
got to step up. You said.
somebody got to step up. Somebody behind him. It might be their time to show out.
I hope so. I hope so. And also too is the running back for LSU. In other news, the running back for LSU is he's game time decision. He's been nursing a hamstring injury. The running back, and it's just amazing how. And he got hurt during the practice.
Right.
Leading up to this game. And it's just amazing how these kids, how the storyline changed so much so between with this month and a half off going into these games.
People's weight change fluctuates, during that month time where they're not really working and going home and eating. And, a lot of that stuff has an effect on you, man. When you're not staying in on a schedule completely, like you would during the normal season.
Right. And another game that's going on today is the Clemson versus Ohio State game. And I'm very excited by seeing that game today.
Before you get to breaking it down, let me ask you this question. How do these boys start out number 1 in the country?
Okay.
Don't lose a game.
Mm-hmm.
And now what they at, number 3?
They're number 3.
Tell me how that worked. Like, it seemed like with them winning the championship and then, they should have the respect of, winning day in and day out. Regardless of how they did it, they got it done. So how dropping the poll?
Well, the committee, this committee, it changes from year to year because the committee changes itself.
Right.
Every year we got different people on the panel. So we go with a different view every year. Now, the committee this year had the view that they did not view the ACC conference as a whole as being a strong conference.
Right.
So those blowout wins that occurred during the season, they did not give that a lot of. They didn't get that a lot of credence. They didn't get that. They wasn't impressed with that.
But I mean, Clemson can't do. But they can't only play who they put them on the schedule with.
And Clemson was in the North Carolina game is when they dropped. If you remember, it was number 1 going into that game, and that was the game that they dropped.
Okay.
North Carolina could have won the game, and North Carolina was on the 1-yard line, and we know what happened there. And after that, that's when they dropped them when they the 1-point win against North Carolina.
Right.
And after that, they just didn't respect them no more. But you know what? Jim Dabo does a great job of playing up to that.
Mm-hmm.
He likes being the underdog because if you go back to Deshaun Watson year, if you look at his time with Deshaun Watson, even up to this point, he plays the underdog role very well with his franchise, with his team.
Right.
He does a great job.
That probably kept him hungry though. So you never know how that really is going to affect you.
Right.
Not with them being kind of slighted and down to number 3, that might have kept a chip on their shoulder.
Do you feel Clemson is strong? Do you feel they're a great team?
Well, I just know they're still winning. It's hard for me to see and say when they're running over everybody.
Right.
So this is going to be a good matchup. I wanted to see them play LSU.
Right. And see, that's the thing that I don't want to seem biased in this thing because y'all know how much I love SEC football. But that's the whole thing about it. When you have teams like LSU who go through a gauntlet.
Right.
I'm talking about battles, Civil War type gauntlets of losing players to injury, and just every week they fighting and clawing to get there. And then you have these other teams from and nothing against the team.
Just kind of breeze through.
It's just to breeze through. It's just like wow. It's just something you shake your head at because again, Clemson really was not challenged.
Right.
We can't put Wake Forest on the same pay scale with Georgia.
No, you can't do it.
We can't honestly, as fans of the game, say that Wake Forest is compatible to the Georgia Bulldogs. They're compatible to Alabama because this is what LSU played to get there.
Yeah, and when you look at the SEC, they have so many powerful teams. You got your Florida, who seem to be better,
right.
with LSU, with Alabama,
Auburn,
and they're consistent,
right?
So now the question is, should 2 teams from the SEC be able to hop into the championship challenge?
Well, it could have happened had Alabama not lost to Auburn,
right? But
because that was
you're going to fight that every year.
Because remember, Alabama was holding down that 4th spot going into that last weekend of football, and Oklahoma was the 5th spot, and Alabama loses to Auburn, which opens the door for Oklahoma to come right on in.
Right.
Which I honestly was hoping for Oklahoma and Alabama both to make it. I thought that would have been a great storyline.
I wanted that to be the championship game.
I thought that would have been a great storyline.
Yeah. That
would have been redemption at its best. That was just my little,
But when your boy got hurt, Tua, that kind of dampened the whole thing.
Yes, it did.
Because you wanted to see both teams at their full strength go at it.
Right.
Them 2 quarterbacks showing out, and really, just make that whole clash be amazing.
So how do you feel about Justin Fields, the phenom, the high school phenom that was at Georgia, had problems at Georgia as far as them allowing him to get on the field, playing backup. He transferred to Ohio State. Now he takes Ohio State to the show. How do you feel about Justin Fields?
Well, you got a lot of people. You got a lot of good, really, really talented athletes, on the same team.
Right.
And if this one player is in front of you, but he balling, and you can never get your skills shown because you could be better than him.
Right.
It's just that's the game we play. That's the college atmosphere we in now, where you
Right.
can hop here and hop there until you find a team.
But this is why, and I know I'm staying on subject, but I'm getting a little off subject here. But this is why we got 3 teams out of the 4 teams all have quarterbacks from a school that are not with the original school they signed with.
Right.
Justin Fields at Ohio State, Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma, and Joe Burrow at LSU. And this is why I feel that there should be a rule that kids shouldn't have to sit out a year. Because the only thing is you can only play right away if you graduate. You can play right away when you transfer.
Right.
But if you have not graduated, you have to sit out a year. This is why I believe that kids should be able to transfer and not have to sit out.
They should be able to move just as easy as the coaches.
Because the coach ain't sitting out.
No.
When Jimbo left Florida State, he did not sit out a year. He took $75 million, new contract with Texas A&M, and he was on the field Labor Day weekend coaching.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand that whole rule, because I think they only sign like 1-year scholarships, right? They have to re-sign every year.
Right.
It's not a guaranteed 4.
No, it's not.
So my whole thing is, if you're not even going to guarantee me 4, like, why should I have to, be penalized if I want to leave?
Right. Exactly. I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, then we will get back. We will come back again and discuss more into this thing. We will also dive into this NFL when we get back on Antonio Brown and the latest of him in New Orleans. And enjoy the show. Hey, that was kind of, you came with that. That was EPMD or something? What that was, EPMD?
Charlie, can you grab Jen?
Grab Jen?
Yeah.
She's in the car?
Yeah, she's outside.
Is it?
Let her
Go downstairs. And there's a lady down there. Ron's wife is white, just so you know. So
It's Lebanese. There's a difference.
Lebanese. She's
We'll get back here, dive into Antonio Brown and the latest.
Hey Ron, that food, that was some good food at your house.
Oh, my uncle do his thing, man.
No, all of it, man. I'm
I
talking
mean,
about every dish was good.
Yeah. Everybody.
You didn't come, Tori? Did you come that
No,
day?
I didn't make it out.
Um,
Actually, I got tied in with my mom.
Yeah, they had a pile of ribs.
See, I had
2 containers
you
like
didn't take a
it.
plate, did you? You didn't take a plate home.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
no,
Okay.
we even bought to-go plates so folks could take.
Oh, okay.
He had to go boxes like a restaurant.
Okay.
We had the regular
That one I
plates.
showed with her.
Because Eunice liked it. I took her. We ate it the next day.
Yeah, we had regular plates, and then we had to-go plates because I knew we was gonna have a crazy amount of food. And when it comes to that ribs and chicken, cause my uncle, boy, he tough. You know, I'm talking about, you don't even need no barbecue sauce, son. I'm talking about tough like that.
Right.
And so we did ribs. We had 2 big pans of ribs, chicken, everything, man. The
That's
only
what's
thing we
up.
didn't have was coleslaw. And I want to say we had that. But it was a lot of food. That's just on all the bone. I think we had about 100, about 10 slabs, and like 100 wings, like the big wings,
Right.
whole wings,
Right.
and all of them gone. They were knocking it down.
That's what's up.
Love Italian food? Come to Papa Rosie Italian, Orlando's best kept secret in beautiful Waterford Lakes.
Well, Alabama be here. Well, they already here, but they play Wednesday
They played.
in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who they playing?
They play Michigan.
5-star reviews on Facebook.
They play Pence.
You going?
I'm trying to go. Right now. I'm trying to get some tickets to go right now. That's what I've been working on.
Charlie, y'all wasn't able to get media passes
For what?
for like the game.
For
Here
what game?
at Camping World.
The Pro Bowl?
No,
No.
Alabama playing.
Michigan.
When is it?
Wednesday.
This Wednesday?
Yeah.
You can try if you want to go.
Yeah, I want to go.
Oh, that's right. You're Alabama. Oh, your Alabama's playing.
Yeah.
Not me.
I'll see if I get you a ticket. Remind me.
I'm gonna remind you every day.
like a little media pass. You should be able to get a media pass.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to have to be. You can't get any other way
Right. So media pass where I would sit at.
with the media.
Okay.
Probably in the skybox area. That's
Yeah.
usually where the media sits at.
Yeah. Yeah. See if you can get me one, man. I'd be greatly appreciated.
Just buy me dinner after.
Okay, I got you. That's all you want, dinner? Okay. What you want? 4 River? That's my spot. 4
Oh, I
River.
like Four Rivers. That's the
Have
best
you
part
been
of
to
the
Ellie
spot.
Lou's?
But you know what? Those ribs,
Bubba Lou's at?
Ellie Lou's.
No, where they at?
They lose right off McGuire. Over there with that Publix, like you go in, say you're on Kelowna, go in the garden behind you, you make a right on the McGuire, go straight down like towards Windermere, and you got a Publix right over to your left. They got a real joint over there called Ellie Lou's Club. Tell me they fired in Fall River.
I'm about to check them out.
Ellie Lou's, yeah.
I'm about to check them out then.
Great ribs.
Those ribs your uncle's made.
Oh, yeah, they can't mess with my uncle, but they good.
Yeah, those ribs his uncle made were really good.
Wow.
I mean, like, and they cooked it perfect. Like, it wasn't chewy, it wasn't hard.
Don't your uncle got the spot in Leesburg, right?
That's his. No.
I'll be honest with you, it was better than Fat Daddy's too.
Oh yeah.
The flavor, I didn't even put no barbecue sauce.
You
on
don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Now you just want to heat.
That might, you know what? That might have been the first time they put barbecue sauce on a rib.
Yes, sir. We back. And we're going to dive right into a major topic this week. We had major development happen earlier this week. Well, actually on Thursday, going into Friday, we had major news happening into the NFL. And what that was is the New Orleans Saints, led by Sean Payton, had Antonio Brown come in for a workout. And as we do know, Antonio Brown is currently not on a team due to the fact of him being released from the last team, which was the New England Patriots, when he had
last two teams.
Oakland and New England. And New England let him go because he had made some threats on a text message or whatnot, so they let him go. And since then, he's been on a little tyrant every day between Instagram and
Something
Twitter.
Wrong, man.
Every day he's been going off on one day he loves you, 30 seconds later he's texting I hate you.
Right.
And
it's bizarre.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like what point you trying to make? Like clearly we listening. So I mean, you all over the place.
Right.
Like I don't know him personally, so I can't speak to his, his mindset or mental state. You know what I mean? But like you bouncing all over the place, man. Like what's the business?
What I know about sports is this, and we've seen this in no matter what sport you play. What we have seen in professional sports is this: when your talent is high, we tolerate more. When your talent decreases, the less we tolerate.
Right.
We've seen that in every professional sports. And what we all agree on is Antonio Brown, if he's not the best, he's one of the top 3 guys at the wide receiver position.
I would agree with that.
And so what has happened is, because he's that, teams are still willing to take a chance. Even though they looking right at what his last thing, what he just did, they still say, we can, because everybody feels like we can be the one to change him.
Right.
Because see, that's what it's always. You didn't know him like I know him, but you can't do what I can do, and that's what we have seen in this saga of Antonio Brown, with the latest being Sean Payton. Now, there's a twist in this thing this week, and I'm gonna tell you what the twist is, listeners. The twist is Roger Goodell had seen Antonio Brown 2 weeks ago for 8 hours in an interview about the alleged allegations that he's under from the 2 women. No charges filed. No charges were filed. No charges.
They're just trying to get money.
That was the way this was brought to light. It came to light because the one female, she wanted $50,000. Antonio Brown said, I'm not paying you. Then the other female wanted $75,000, and her lawyer said, either you're going to pay us or we're going to go public. Well, Antonio Brown said, we'll go public. So when they went public with it, is when all of this came out. Mm-hmm. Okay, but he's never been charged with anything. As a matter of fact, speaking in that part of the law part of it, both have expired. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's how old the allegations are. So at this point, Roger Goodell interviewed both females. He also interviewed 8 hours of with Antonio Brown. And the New Orleans Saints are saying, Sean Payton contacted NFL offices yesterday saying, we need a decision. We want to sign him, but we need clarity.
Right.
So right now, Sean Payton and New Orleans are waiting on the NFL to decide what they're going to do, because they never did anything with
I mean,
Antonio.
why should they do anything? You know, I mean, those are just allegations. Anybody
Right.
can come say anything. They haven't been in the
Right.
charges filed. They're just people trying to be on a money grab,
Well,
right? And if you're going to start allowing women to do that, and then without charges, and there has some kind of negative effect on the player, you know, then you open up a can of worms.
Well, if you remember, if we go back 2 years ago, Roger Goodell came with a new campaign that was called Protect the Shield. And the Protect the Shield campaign was, you don't have to be charged. You don't have to be charged. You don't have to be found guilty. But if there's anything that's brought that will bring shame to the Shield, I can sit you down.
See, that's a slippery slope right there.
And that's the CBA, though. Because he was given that control. When the NFL players decided that they folded like that, that was in the CBA for Roger Goodell to have the control that he has. So at the end of the day, even though we know, and I agree with you, it's a slippery slope, even though at the end of the day, we don't like because remember, Roger Goodell's the same guy that can find you guilty, you file an appeal, and he's the same guy that sees over the appeal.
Right.
And all of that was done through the CBA. And that, listeners, is called the Collective Bargaining Agreement. So again, you made this deal, NFL players.
It's going to have to be changed because now you're allowing these people to rob these athletes without a pistol.
And that's why that's why when you go through the CBA negotiations, the guys got to stop folding and saying, let's play and sit out, no matter how long it is, to get everything in that CBA agreement they want.
Whoever do the baseball guys agreement,
Right.
that's who they need to hire. Them boys done got marijuana taken off the list and everything. Now they can blow it everything.
Well, the
It's
thing
all
is, to me, it's deeper than that, because what it boils down to is this: when you look at the NBA and you look at Major League Baseball, what separates those two associations from the NFL is this. One thing separates those two from the NFL, and that is guaranteed contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why NFL players do not hold out long, because of the fact their money's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
And that's why every time they come to the table, the owners know, those 32 owners already know going into that meeting, we got them. Because what happens is you're going to get that, you have that 20 to 25% that is stand pat and say, we ain't going to do it, y'all. We ain't going to do it. But you're going to get that 75% who don't make the monies of the 25% that says, hey, why I sign? What we sign at?
Like everybody's not making $20 million a year.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you look at, and this is another thing too, and listeners, I know we're getting off course a little bit, but follow us. This is another thing. Why is the quarterback position is starting to be the only position with guaranteed contracts? If you've been paying attention to that.
Yeah.
Only the quarterback position of late has been guaranteeing these contracts. Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, the guy over here, Wentz over here in Philly.
Right.
Notice the quarterbacks are the only ones now starting to have guaranteed contracts.
And, you know, and the thing about it is they getting all the money. And I've always,
Jared
I
Goff.
never really understood, like, why is this player more important than this one? You know, majority of the time he handing the ball off. He gonna make some throws, but somebody got to catch it.
Right.
Like you say it's a team game, but you make it seem like it's an individual when it comes to the payout.
Absolutely. Well, they say the quarterback is the face of the franchise.
And why is that?
This is what the
Why
only.
not
This
the
is what's
middle
going on.
linebacker who's making just as much calls and doing just as much directing traffic as the quarterback is?
Right.
But we don't want to dive in there. We
Right.
know why.
We know what's going on.
Yeah.
But back to Antonio Brown. So my question to you, Undertaker, is: do you believe that Antonio Brown should be allowed to play?
Absolutely. What has he done that's been proven? Nothing. It's just people talking.
Okay.
Right? And we already know they tried to get some cheese.
Right. We know that. We know that.
Give me 75 grand or I'm going public.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a hostage
Right.
situation right there.
How lethal would that be, Antonio Brown and Michael Thomas?
Well, they gonna get at it. Now, if he gonna get out there and get at it,
Well, we know when he on the field, he get at it now. We know that now.
you know, we don't want him to come be a distraction on the Twitter fingers, you know, and causing problems. You know, as far as, you know, him bringing that magic to the field, you know, I like to think he'll get out there and go for his.
Because he has a reputation as being one of the hardest practicing guys, one of the guys that practice hard, he plays hard. I mean, because even in his short stint with New England, he practiced hard. And he showed out that Sunday he
Right.
did play.
And the fact that the owner want to let him go, and he had allegations on him of a similar nature.
Absolutely, absolutely. He
You
did.
know, and to just let him loose like that. Well, and I think it really had something more to do with his little Twitter.
Well,
text
AB
messages.
made some threats to the lady. He posted a picture of her sons.
He got to know better than that.
He posted a picture of her sons and said and made some threats to make it basically like,
wonder,
I know you know you.
I
Don't
just-
play with me.
I
like.
just wonder if he had like a circle, a group, you know, or a council that he, you know, that's around him daily, that he confides in, or
Well, to me, it seems as though he's surrounded by guys that cater to his ego.
right.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you have guys that truly do care about you, the individual, they would have been stopped AB long time ago for
Right.
all the things, the outlandish things he's been doing on Twitter and on Instagram. The post, like even last week, the things he posted, you know, it's just, I mean, it's almost like to the point, like, it's almost, he goes further and further out there. It's like when you throw a bottle in the water out in the ocean. And you just go further and just look at this, go further and further and further out there. And that's what's happening to him.
Right.
And it's like there's nobody to bring him back in.
And you know, his fame is increasing, but it's just in all the wrong ways.
All the wrong ways.
You know what I mean?
All the wrong ways. And you hate to see a guy of his, not just talent, you would hate, because the thing is that to me, that brings attention to is when you look at a guy like AB, because AB has made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that was talked about, that when you do guarantee so much money to a guy like AB, and he does this.
Right. Well, I mean, a guy like AB, what does that mean?
Well, when I say a guy like AB, I'm saying in the reference of,
Because the other guys done got large
but see,
contracts.
this, and what I say is,
you know,
and
they came handle their business
and I'm
still,
saying,
so.
and I'm speaking from the standpoint of how the NFL. When I say a guy like AB, I'm speaking from the NFL standpoint. From the NFL side of the front office is saying, when you get guys that are me first guys, when
Right.
you get guys like, because remember, when AB was with Pittsburgh, AB started it by saying, I ain't getting enough. I'm tired of this. I'm more to this team than Big Ben. I'm more. Remember when it first? That's when it first started at.
Mm-hmm.
Because AB was upset about his money. AB was at the end of his
As
contract.
it should be.
Right.
Like if
but
we're such a duo and it's a
but
tandem.
the thing about it is, I agree, but we know there's a way to go about it. You have an agent. Allow your agent to go in the front office and work that contract out.
Right.
But AB handled it another way. AB handled it through the media by saying, hey, I'm this, I'm that. I'm tired of this. I'm not playing for this no more.
We know he
And so-
did go to the other route first. He probably went to.
Well, he never-
started in the media
never
because he
voiced
wouldn't
that,
get
though.
no response.
Well, he
you
never
know, from
voiced
the
it
front
that way.
office.
Okay.
You just never know the whole inner workings of all the
Right.
details of conversations because they probably went quiet on it, went silent on it.
So my question is this. Okay, you got the release. The Raiders come in. The Raiders say, okay, what you want? The Raiders gave him a huge contract.
Mhm.
Ripped up the old contract, gave him a new contract with all his guaranteed money. AB came in a press conference, him and his kids and his girlfriend, and he was like, I'm glad to be a Raider.
Right.
They showed me the money. I'm here. Raider Nation, let's go.
Right. I know that.
48 hours later, I don't like this helmet. when he already knew about the helmet situation for the last 2 years. They talked about
Right.
the helmet, how you had to go to the next helmet.
Right.
They finally get him a helmet. Come to practice.
Now it's his feet or something, right?
Now it was
It's
his feet was blistered.
Right.
His feet get healed. Then it was he gets into it with they was like, hey, you need to get out here and practice. You
Right.
need to do a walkthrough. They went to Mexico for the preseason game. AB said, I don't do walkthroughs. Huh? You don't do walkthroughs? So he gets into a shouting match with the general manager in front of everybody.
Right. And that ain't never gonna be good.
So once you do that, once you curse out the general manager in front of the whole team, what choice did the Raiders have? Where you left
We
him
got
with?
we got to get you out of here, man.
So my thing is, what does AB really want? You said you wanted money. They gave you the
They
money.
gave you that. They tried to anyway.
All you had to do was come practice and play.
Well, he felt like he done got to the point in his career where he don't need to do walkthroughs, man.
Who don't do walkthroughs?
I'm just saying, maybe he should have had the contract, no walkthroughs.
Also, on another note, we want to just dive into the Seattle Seahawks because the Beast Man is back. Beast Mode
Marshawn
is back.
Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch is back. He signed this week, and it's pandemonium right now in Seattle as we know it.
Well, I mean, what are they really expecting from Marshawn Lynch to come in and do?
Well, I
They
don't.
down 3 backs, right?
Right. They signed him and Turbin
And what the last game he played was last year?
last year.
For the Raiders, actually, right?
Yes, it was for the Raiders last year. They said he passed the physical. He practiced this week. Everything came out. He looked good in practice this week. But who don't look good in practice? Who don't look good in a pair of Nikes and running around and jogging and you know
And they ain't really
in
hit.
shorts? You know what I mean? So there wasn't no hit, but they said he looked good. And you know, I look at Marshawn Lynch as a guy that's gonna bring. Number one, we know he changed the morale over there. He's brought that 18 toughness back.
Okay.
He brought that Legion of Boom without the Legion of Boom being there anymore. So I look for them to be a little rough. I look for them to be a little nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Just off the fact of what he brings, what his attitude, what his character is. Now,
So
do I
you
look?
think that he's gonna be starting?
I believe he will be starting. I don't think if he may not start the game off, but I do believe after that first series, look for him to be that
They
guy.
were down 3 backs.
They lost
right?
all three backs. They down.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they signed him and Turbin this week. I'm not looking for him to be the second coming of Marshall Faulk.
Right.
I'm not even looking for him to be the Marshawn Lynch of old. But what I am looking for is a Marshawn Lynch of 60 to 75 yards a game. But I look for them to be a 60 to 75 yards a game that's going to be game changing because of the style that he has.
Right.
I look for him to be on a 3rd and 1. He gets 4 yards, but it's going to be a bruising 4 yards that lift up the team. You know what I'm saying? It might drag 1 or 2 dudes, and
Right.
that's what I look for Marshawn Lynch.
Well, that's definitely what he brings to the table to have all those capabilities. Let's just see if he still has that energy.
Well, I think the fans are going to energize him. So I think, they did an interview, and as you guys know, Lynch is famous for not doing interviews. But he did answer this because reporters were asking, why did you come back? And he said, I got a lot of history here. We got unfinished business. So I think it's more than just, money stuff for him, So I think
What was their record?
Right now, actually, their record is if they win and Green Bay and the Saints lose, they get the number 1 seed overall in the NFC.
Okay.
So it's between Green Bay, San Fran, New Orleans, and Seattle for that number 1 seed. That's why this last week is so important for those 4 teams for the number 1 seed. Because all of them within the game with each other.
Right. You definitely want to grab that number 1 seed and have
Because
that home field advantage.
you already know I don't even have to go there if A-Rod get the number 1 seed. I ain't got to even tell you about that.
Right.
If Green Bay get it. You
Yeah,
don't
it's
want to
gonna-
go there.
It's going to be tough, boy.
Well, the big match also people are predicting is going to be that San Fran-Seattle matchup. And I believe with Marshawn Lynch on the team, every time Marshawn Lynch was on the Seahawks, I believe he's undefeated against the 49ers. They won every single time. When you had the combination
You talking about them two meeting up in the NFC Championship?
Won't they meet up? Aren't they in the bracket? We're supposed to meet in.
Well, they won't necessarily meet it. They won't. It depends what happens this weekend if they will meet up. Because if San Fran loses this game, San Fran will go to the 4th seed. But you still would need Green Bay and the Saints to lose for Seattle to get the 1 seed. Because as of right now, the Saints and Green Bay have right now in the chase for the number 1 seed if they win.
Okay. We'll trust Tori on that. Tori, he analyzes that stuff, so.
Yeah, you the stat guy.
You're the stat
All right,
guy.
we'll be right back. We'll be right back with more. Give us a call at 1-800-729-8255. Or you can give us a call at 407-916-8255.
North Central Florida, looking for an amazing haircut experience for your family? Come to Southern Scissor Works, a full-service barber.
You got your advertiser?
Yeah, I'm about to get it free right now.
Southern Scissor Works masterful barbers know how to handle the toughest demanding adult. It's no accident why Southern Scissor
Brandon ain't even text me back, man. And I knew why he wasn't gonna text me back because he was in his feelings because I went at him about them hurricanes. I knew why he was. I didn't want him to text me back. That was. Did you hear about that?
What happened now?
28 yards total offense at halftime.
Oh, we're talking about
Miami against Louisiana Tech.
Man. Boys, I don't know what happened to you guys. Man. What's going on, Miami?
And see, and I go back to what Jimmy Johnson said many years ago. And Jimmy Johnson said this. He said, what people don't understand is in sports, when you go to fire a coach, you got to bottom line make sure that you already got somebody in place. Don't be firing a coach and then all of a sudden now you saying we searching. No, you supposed to already have been searching before you fired the guy.
Right.
Now y'all ran Mark Rick out of town, who we didn't lose no more than 4 games. You was 9-4.
Mm-hmm.
You go, no, we better than that. You get rid of Mark Rick.
How long was Mark there?
Mark was there 3 years.
Always no time, man.
But the thing is, you can hire this guy, and you ain't beating nobody.
I ain't know Louisiana Tech still had a team.
You know, and it's just, I mean, I was
They had
looking
28
total yards total
of offense in the first half.
in the first half. They broke a bowl record. They broke an NCAA bowl record with the most punts in a game.
Wow.
They played 4 quarterbacks.
And ironically, the year of perfect vision is the year that you do something about your
Now they turn around yesterday and they fired offensive coordinator, but it ain't him. It's beyond him. It's all y'all down there as coaches.
Yeah.
All y'all with a
Like
whistle
they
on your
still
neck.
have the talent, right? They still picking from that talent pool down there, right? Like, you gotta ask yourself, like, what's going on? Like what happened?
Listen, I was just like, this is.
Are they not getting the players? Is that it?
I feel like I'm gonna say this: that they recruited us in the top 25. They finished. So if you finish in the top 25 recruit, that means you should be finishing in the top 25 in team in ranking. Period. If you get top 20, because what that tells us is you get top 25 talents.
Yeah, well, I'll do a shout out for this Papa Lozzi. Papa Lozzi Italian restaurant. Just really know how to pronounce it.
I don't want to read that. Let me read it all.
You can't read it?
I could. I don't want to.
See, you got that new picture, man. You got a little money up there in New York, huh?
All right, we're going to Corey do this thing.
Yeah, what's this here?
All right, here you go, Tori. These are shout outs. You can do all of them. Mine's going to skip his.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool.
96.9 The Game, FM, HD, online at 969thegame.com, on your phone with the iHeartRadio app, and on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home.
Boy, there's an animal. Chase Young, defensive end, Ohio State.
Welcome back to the WSA WorldSportsAlumni.com Hour with the
What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Control Chaos. Let's give a shout out to the people that pay the bills and make all this possible for us. At Papaluzza Italia, Orlando's best kept secret in Italian food. Papaluzza Italian, Orlando's best kept secret in Italian food. You can visit them in Waterford Lakes at papaluzzaorlando.com. That's Papaluzza Italian. Also, January 24th, the Pro Bowl party of 50 celebrities and pro athletes from all sports at Ace Cafe, the Friday of Pro Bowl weekend. Tickets will be on worldsportsalumni.com. And I say that is January 24th, the Pro Bowl party. 50 celebrities and pro athletes from all sports at Ace Cafe, the Friday of the Pro Bowl weekend. Tickets will be on sale at worldsportsalumni.com. And also, don't forget the best wings in town at Wings in Apopka, Florida. That is Wings in Apopka, Florida. And also, Florida Door Solutions, the best garage door repair in Florida. Florida Door Solutions, best garage door repair in Florida. And those are the people that pays the bills. Now back to this sports thing, fellas. We're going to get into this Eagles-Giants playoff game this weekend. And I say playoff game because we know the Giants are not in contention for the playoffs. But what we do know is this. Philadelphia Eagles need this game to not only make the playoffs, but they will win the NFC East division. If there is a division that's called the NFC East division, they will win it by, I know everybody over there under 500, but there is a division called the NFC East, which is...
So look, let's say the Giants beat them. How much of a wrinkle does that throw?
Well, if the Giants beat them and Dallas beats Washington, then Dallas win the division by default. But if Dallas loses to Washington and Philly loses to the Giants, Philly still will make the playoffs.
Right. But if they lose, they're going to make it, either win or lose, right?
No.
Okay.
If Philly lose, then Dallas has to lose to the Redskins.
And then they out.
And then Dallas is out, Philly's in. But if Philly wins, they're in. They got to win, they in.
Right.
And that's the only thing that me and Doug Peterson thinking about. Win and in.
Right.
That's what we, notice I said we.
We.
Yeah, we. I have a nice little wager there with my co-host Brandon Mayweather. We got a nice little thing going on because I, for one, saw that there's better structure in Philly. And it's proven. Because this guy has a depleted team and still has his team competing. Unlike a lot of Cowboys who are healthy from 1 to 53.
Right.
And can't beat nobody.
The Cowboys, man, I just don't. I thought they had a quarterback, receiver, and running back, and defense that was looking promising.
Right.
But it seemed like the more the expectations, the higher the expectations for them, the lower they let you down.
But to me, as we look at this, and I hear you say expectations, but at some point, Undertaker, it's just about doing your job, man.
Right.
Because, this week we had Lawrence. We had the defensive end Lawrence calling folks out on the team. He called out Jason Garrett, and he said talent with no direction, and he made all these subliminal messages. But at the end of the day, you just got paid the high. Is anybody aware that Lawrence signed the highest paid, the richest contract in Dallas Cowboy history?
No, what was it?
It was $110 million.
How much you got guaranteed?
He got 65 guaranteed. That is the largest contract ever of a Dallas Cowboy player. So my question is this to Lawrence: you ain't been sacking nobody. The Cowboys got 0 sacks this past Sunday against Wicks. 0.
Right.
I got a problem with you grabbing the mic saying what the team should do and what we need to do. No, I need you to sack the quarterback. That's what I paid you to do.
Calling out the direction and certain things just don't need to be said in the media. Because the interpretation of it can be read, just too many ways.
But my thing is, whatever happened to just doing what you getting paid to do?
Yeah, do your job.
Because you ain't doing your job. If you look at the Cowboys from top to bottom, to me, that is the biggest. To me, that's the biggest problem. When you see a team that's healthy, we're not talking about a team that's depleted with injuries like the Philadelphia Eagles. We're talking about a healthy team from 1 to 53 that's not winning.
Right.
That's what we talk. Because this time of year in football, everybody's hurt up, everybody's banged up, everybody missing some players. But when you got a team that's lining up and you say everybody here, when the coach come on the bus and he say everybody here, coach. And when you get off the bus and it's everybody here and you ain't winning, that's a problem.
So let me ask you a question. You think it's time for Jerry Jones to get rid of Garrett?
Now I'm going to say this. I don't think Jason Garrett's the problem. Because what we do know is this. It doesn't matter who you bring in there. Everything starts and finishes with Jerry Jones.
Right.
As a coach for Dallas, you can only do, your control is only within the perimeters of what Jerry gives you.
Right.
And if Jerry gave the guy that won 2 Super Bowls none, who will be in you?
Right.
So we got to stop with this notion of the Dallas got to go get Urban Meyer, Dallas got to go get Sean Payton, Dallas got to go get the guy over there, Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. No. Dallas' problem is Jerry Jones when we talking about the leadership portion of it. But at the end of the day, because the players know that. If you remember early in the season when they was on this losing streak, you had the tight end, Jason Witten, call out, Jason Witten sided with Jerry Jones about Jason Garrett, if you remember.
Okay. No, I didn't catch that.
He didn't say, I ride with my coach, I support my coach. He said he agreed with what Jerry said, which gave us a bird's eye view who's really in control. Right. The players know Jerry's in control, and that's who the players play up to, Jerry.
You know, he's always on the scene. I mean, it's his scene to be on, but like you don't see a lot of the other the owners just so hands on,
right?
The way that he is,
right?
You know, and like you said, you know, that might be the problem.
That is the problem, and until he gives up that authority and say, you know, I'm just going to be an owner.
You know, this is the same guy who wanted Johnny Football now.
Right.
You know,
Same guy. And I don't believe, now I'm going to say this, I'm going to go as far as to say this. I don't care what Jerry told you, Undertaker. He ain't sold on Dak.
You don't believe so?
No. If he was sold on Dak, Dak would have been signed. Dak is the only starting quarterback out of 32 NFL teams that has done what he's done. Went 14-2. He's the league leader in pass. All the things he has done, he has no contract.
Yeah, I thought they'd have put that to bed early this season. That shouldn't even be an issue right now. After what he's done, came in as a rookie doing, and still been doing his thing and helping carry the team.
This man has no contract.
Like that should have been a conversation. They should have got that deal done before the season, and because that might be playing it has some type of effect on the entire situation. That could be the little crack in the armor that's messing up everything.
So to me, that tells me that you're not sold on that.
That's exactly.
I don't want to hear nothing about no numbers or we ain't within the. No.
Some of these boys got contracts they ain't done nothing.
Cause guess what? Zeke held out. Zeke was down in Cabo. Last I checked, Zeke held out. You told Zeke to fly on in. Zeke flew in from Cabo. You made him the highest paid running back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive end, Lawrence, you made him the highest paid player. Let's get into these picks, folks. Let's get into these picks. Browns against the big. How much time we got left? We got 10? All right, then. Thank y'all for tuning in with us, and we out of here, man. Another great show. Man, they never let me know nothing. Why you ain't tell me 2 minutes more?